Hey everyone, I'm Edwin Kwan, and welcome back to Cyber Bytes, your weekly rundown of what's happening in the cybersecurity world. This week, we've got a mix of privacy concerns, scams getting smarter, and one story that might actually shift how we defend software going forward. So let's get right into it. Our first story is about Claude desktop privacy concerns. We're starting with something that's raised eyebrows across the security community. Anthropic's Claude desktop app is under scrutiny after users found it quietly installed browser extension files. And not just for browsers you have installed, but for ones you don't. We're talking Chrome, Firefox, Edge, all showing up on systems regardless of what the user actually uses. Now, to be clear, these aren't active extensions automatically running in your browser. But the issue is the behavior. There was no clear notification, no explicit consent, and no obvious reasons committed to users. And that's where the concern kicks in. Browser extensions are quite powerful. They can read browsing activity, they can modify web pages, and they can access sensitive session data. So even staging this file silently crosses a line for a lot of people. The bigger issue here isn't a technical one, it's about trust. Modern security expectations are built around transparency and consent. If software starts doing things quietly in the background, especially anything related to browsers, people get uncomfortable. And rightly so too. So make sure you check your systems for unexpected extension of files. Only install desktop AI tools from trusted sources and keep an eye on the permission changes after the updates. I actually found out about this when I was using Claude, and interestingly, Claude was the one that prompted me about it. So on to our next story, where we have Apple that has patched a bug that's been a bit more subtle, but pretty concerning once you understand it. The issue here is that deleted notifications weren't actually being fully deleted. Even after you cleared them, the data could still persist on the device. We're talking about things like message previews, banking alerts, one-time passcodes, and personal app notifications. Basically anything that briefly pops up on your screen. Now imagine this scenario. You deleted a sensitive notification thinking it's gone, but it's still sitting somewhere in storage, potentially accessible through forensic tools or if someone gains access to your device. That's the gap that this bug created. Apple has now patched it in the latest iOS update that came out this week. So I urge everybody to update immediately. Now on to our third story, where we're going to talk about something actively being exploited right now. And it's catching a lot of organizations off guard. Microsoft Teams is becoming a major target for help desk impersonation scams. And this is how it works. Attackers send messages through Teams pretending to be IT support. They'll say things like, your account has an issue. You need to reset your password urgently. We need access to fix a security problem. And because it's happening inside of Teams, it's a platform people trust for internal communication, it feels legitimate. And that's the trick. These messages, they bypass email filters, they appear in a familiar workspace, and they often create urgency. From there, victims are pushed to click malicious links, download remote access tools, or even share login credentials. And once that happens, attackers can move quickly inside company system. This is working pretty well for the attackers because people are trained to distrust emails, but not internal chat tools. And that's the gap attackers are exploiting. This is what we should be doing. Never trust unsolicited IST messages, even in Teams. Verify requests through official channels, like calling IT directly. Disable or restrict external Teams communication if it's possible. And train staff to treat chat messages like emails with skepticism. This is a classic social engineering attack that's just evolved with workspace tools. Alright, story number 4, and this one hits anyone dealing with crypto. Security researchers have found multiple fake cryptocurrency wallet apps inside China's Apple App Store. Yes, it's the App Store. These apps mimic real wallet interfaces, use convincing branding, and ask users for private keys or seed phrases. And once users enter that information, that's it. Attackers immediately drain the wallets, and unlike traditional banking fraud, there's no reversing crypto transactions. It's gone. The surprising thing here is that the Apple App Store is known for its strict review process, which is much tighter than most platforms. So the fact that these apps got through is such a big deal. It shows that even curated platforms aren't immune, and social engineering is still the weakest link. Because ultimately, the apps didn't hack users, they tricked them. Alright, let's end on something a bit more forward-looking. Mozilla and Anthropic teamed up to use the advanced AI models, and they have discovered 271 security vulnerabilities in Firefox. That's not a typo, 271. For context, finding even one critical vulnerability used to be a big deal. Now AI, using Anthropic Mythos, is finding hundreds. These models are able to analyze complex code bases, reason through logic, and identify subtle security flaws. And they did it faster than traditional tools alone, and at a scale humans can't match. Mozilla has described the experience as vertigo, which makes sense, but it changes the equation. Cybersecurity has traditionally favored attackers. They only need to find one vulnerability, and defenders have to find them all. But AI might start flipping that. If defenders can use AI to systematically uncover and fix vulnerabilities before attackers exploit them, the balance could shift. But there's a catch. Attackers can use AI too. So this becomes a race of who uses AI more effectively, defenders or attackers. I believe going forward, AI-assisted security testing will become the new standard. Software development will likely integrate AI scanning earlier, and the speed of both attacks and defenses will increase. It's going to be a shift in how security works, and we can expect a lot of updates being pushed through Firefox. And that's it for this week's Cyber Bytes. If there's a theme this week, it's this. A lot of attackers aren't breaking systems. They're bending trust. And that's harder to defend if you're not paying attention. I'm Edwin Kwan. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.